And welcome in to Morning Brew with Jaffe and Razor. Late night, March 15th, after the Boston Bruins lose to the Tampa Bay Lightning at TD Garden by a score of 6-2. A game where the Tampa Bay Lightning, when they reset themselves after the first period, took control of the game. We will talk about the dominant second period that helped separate this game. Two empty net goals make it a 6-2 effort, and the Boston Bruins now find themselves with just 14 games remaining in the National Hockey League season, and with a record of 30, 30, and 8. Morning Brew with Jaffe and Razor is proudly presented by our lead sponsor, Fazenda Coffee Roasters. Make sure to check out fazendacoffee.com, whether you've got a wholesale business or you just want to get some great stuff for your home. They serve cafes, bakeries, and restaurants, but they will also take their expertly roasted coffee and deliver it right to your door. Check out fazendacoffee.com. And if you want to specifically check out Morning Brew hats, the Morning Brew Clean Canteen, or the Morning Brew Blend, a dark roast that is extremely smooth, as I like to used to say, just like Razor. All right. That was not a smooth open. Kind of like that second period. That was not smooth for the Bruins. I'm trying to find some kind of, I guess, cute thing. I'm struggling. I am fully admitting it. I am tired. You were outshot 21-0 in the second period. We can talk about how the Bruins got going in the first, and we'll mention the goal coming up and everything. But Razor, for the second time this season, they were held without a shot on goal. Outshot 21-0. Forgive me if I've asked you this before, partner. Have you been in a game where your team did not record a shot on goal that you can remember in the NHL?
No, I feel like I remember one or two one shot ones, and honestly, at that, as a goalie, you'd rather your team get zero, so you can really make a point of like, you guys did nothing that period.
Yeah.
Like the Bruins getting one in that second period, we wouldn't be talking about it the same way, and I don't think it would do it the same justice that it deserves. If it was 20-1, it wouldn't have the same ring.
Their one chance that really had a legit chance of getting on net ends up hitting their own guy in front of the net.
Lettieri gets in the way of it, blocks his own shot. So no, I don't recall zero. I recall one or two every couple times when, it's just not good. It's happened, and you said it. It's happened twice to them this year, which I bet has never happened in the 100 years of the Bruins. That it's twice in 1 year. It just doesn't happen often, and I guess it just adds up to what this year is going to be at the end. Because again, the other thing that's the other part of tonight is the fact that they're back at 500. Yeah. They'd been able to stay away from that. Like, they'd found a way to stay a couple games over 500, and 500 is like the Mendoza line. If you can't be there. They were holding hope, staying above it, and other teams were struggling. But now it's going to be tough.
You can't avoid it, right? You just can't avoid it when you're there. They're the Bruins right now, after this loss in their last 13, are 3-8-2.
It's crazy. Yeah. We said it. If I, or Mr. Optimistic me, I said, if they go through, you said, if I said 0-7, if they go 0-7, of course they're done. And that's essentially what they've done. I can't find the half glass full here in any way whatsoever. It's 3-8-2. That's all it is. That's what it is. And that gets you out of the playoffs.
So that second period, was it more what Tampa did or what the Bruins couldn't do?
I think it. Again, I think a lot of it's on the Bruins. I really do. I think anytime, whether it's the first,
but is it just their lineup? I mean, is it just
that's where I was going to go. It's just who they have. Like if whether it's the first period against Ottawa or the second period against Tampa. Now, if a playoff team wants to put their foot down on this team's throat, they can do so. The back end can't move the puck well enough. They just can't get out of their zone. There's too many turnovers. within the hash marks and the blue line and coming around the net, and it just starts to build up. How many times we've seen second period shifts last 2 minutes? That just does. Good teams find a way not to have that happen, but it continually happens to the Bruins, and tonight was no different. And to have it happen at home is even worse.
Tampa came out after a first period that, ended strong for the Bruins. It did.
Mhm.
It was a nice end of the period. And you're thinking, okay, have a solid second. Let's see what happens. You just beat them a week ago in Tampa. Could it happen again in Tampa? No. They just said no. They reset. They came out from the first shift, dominating along the wall. Very similar to what we saw against Ottawa. That's really what it ended up being.
Yeah.
Pucks along the wall. Bruins just could not handle it and get it. It ended up being and get it out. Nick Paul ends up scoring his 20th goal of the season, and from in front of the net. And from the left side, the blocker side of Swayman, and it just set the tone for the second period immediately. I mean, I guess it was the second shift. It was 2:13, but the first shift they had the Bruins hermetically sealed in their zone, so to speak, as well. And after that, the Nick Paul goal, 5 minutes later, the Anthony Cirelli goal, his 21st of the season, and then 10 minutes later, the Radish goal, not to be confused with the Onion goal, but Darren Radish, he scores his 5th goal of the season. That is like such a lame ass joke, or not even a joke, but a little thing. I mean,
Are onions and radishes like the same family?
I don't know. I don't know why.
No, I thought you had like some intel on that. I didn't know that they were like.
And I've never.
You could have fooled me too, because I thought I was like, oh, interesting.
What is a
kind of
radish?
look the same. I don't know what a radish is. I have no idea what a radish.
I guess it might be. Is it a root? Is it a? I don't know. It's
like a beet, right? It's kind of like a beet.
I feel like it. Radishes really have no flavor. I always think they're going to be spicy a little bit, like have like a little, like, peppery or something effect. And then I realize that sometimes they don't have much flavor.
No, they're just there.
I can tell you, I'm not a huge radish fan.
I don't go searching a radish.
RC tells us radishes are a flowering plant in the mustard family.
Wow.
Okay.
That I did not see that coming from RC in any way. I thought he was going to tell me to turn my volume up or something like that. And he came at us with that.
See, if I have a choice on
That's
a salad,
insane. Well done, RC.
Thank you. Don't ask for no radishes. You never think to say, don't put the radish on there. Like, it's always an accompaniment,
it's more of a garnish.
A garnish. Thank you. That's the better term. But yeah, no, radishes, not a fan.
No.
I guess I don't dislike them as much as I dislike mushrooms. I can't stand mushrooms.
All kinds.
Any
kind of mushroom.
Any kind of mushroom.
Wow.
It's a thing.
I did not see that coming either.
Everybody has that one food that they can't eat or don't want to eat. That should say.
Yeah. Is it the texture of mushrooms or is it the taste?
Texture.
Yeah.
Texture. My family would eat raw mushrooms, and I'm like, that is awful.
Yeah, that's aggressive.
Meanwhile, my sister won't ever eat berries.
Like a strawberry? Any kind of berry?
Any kind of berry. She doesn't like berries.
Okay.
So go figure. What's your one food that you just will not like, don't eat? Like, no.
Cauliflower is close, but the buffalo cauliflower I'll get over if I really had to.
I love roasted cauliflower. I could eat that all day. I get a lot of gas from it, but I love it.
I don't do sweet potatoes.
Oh, okay.
And then like squash. Squash, never. It's that mushy texture squash, no chance. Yeah.
See, I love a good acorn squash roasted with
no chance. I would never do that.
Love it. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. See what we are learning. What we are learning as the team starts to
man, we're really gonna dig deep here the next month, folks. See, this is gonna be this is the preview. We haven't had a season of brew where we just
Right. This is a first for us too on
It
Morning Brew
is.
with Jaffe and Razor. Maybe we do one of those Ask Us Anything shows.
I was gonna say we need like questions galore over the
Yeah.
next
Yeah,
month,
but
like
not
of
not not
anything.
who are they going to sign in
Please,
the off
and anything but yes, anything but the prospect pool.
All
Anything
right.
but that.
All right, back
Man,
to the
oh
game.
man.
So it was a very discouraging, disappointing second period. Elias Lindholm post game called it embarrassing. We heard it self-inflicted from Andrew Peeke. We heard, Joe Sacco just talked about the better team, significantly better team in Tampa Bay. All those things. Tampa ends up scoring and going up those three goals, and they end up going up 4-1. And after that, there was a goal by Marat Khusnutdinov early in the third, 23 seconds in, and that was nice. It kind of gave a little bit of spark, a little bit of hope, but all said and done, two empty net goals by Tampa in the last 4 minutes of the period. And I guess I'll tangent here for a second. You're down 5-2. You think you need to pull the? I mean,
No, I
no,
hate it.
I don't need to pull the goalie again there. I don't need to. I mean, you're down 4-2. Yeah, keep pulling it. 5-2. You tried it. We don't need to do 6-2.
No, we've talked about this
Exactly.
a few times, not a million times. We've talked maybe a million times off camera with people, but there's nights where even at 2-1, you're not coming back, let alone 5-2. You're not coming back against so what are you doing?
What are we doing here? Right.
What are you doing? You're not scoring 3 goals on that team. You barely got 12 shots all night. You're not scoring 3 at the end of that game. So certainly not a fan of that in any way whatsoever. It just allows everyone to boo more, and it just
Just doesn't feel good. Like I just thought, like I was surprised actually at 5-2 that they elected to pull the goal.
Don't like it.
All right, let's go to the first period just to quickly talk what happened there. Again, Tampa comes out more powerful team. It's a goal 222, and Victor Hedman gets his 12th goal of the season coming in from the left side. But this is a sign of things to come. What ends up happening on this goal? Yanni Gordon-Radish with the assist. It was all about movement in the O zone. It was all about puck retrieval. And then you got bodies to the front of the net. I mean, that was a recipe for arguably all 4 even strength goals that they scored.
Yep.
With a goalie in. But it ended up being Victor Hedman getting the puck pops away from the pile and bounces over to Hedman, who sifts his way, and he goes stealth, and he gets it from the left wing side, makes it 1-0. 15:58 mark, though, of the first period. Elias Lindholm gets his 12th goal of the season. He's been producing some points lately after a gorgeous play from Andrew Peeke. Lauko starts the breakout after he gets a pass on the right wing side deep in the mid half wall, I should say, in the Bruins zone. He ends up hitting Peeke, who is the outlet, the weak side D outlet valve there. And Peeke takes it down the ice and goes from his left wing all the way over to the right wing. 2 Tampa Bay Lightning players follow him almost to the offensive right wing half wall. It's Victor Hedman and Braden Point, 2 players that you would not think that would both commit, but they do commit outside the dot. And then the gorgeous pass is made from Andrew Peeke over to Elias Lindholm slot area. Aaron Radish, the defenseman out there, does not close gap well, and Lindholm slices the puck in up top quickly, gets it up quickly past Vasilevsky, makes it 1-1. I mean, if we're going to analyze one goal, and we could call it the spark of the game, you know what I mean, Razor? I mean, that would have been it, because that was a beautiful goal and definitely highlight reel worthy.
It was a great play, and again, another guy who's going to get a lot out of the last half of this season is Andrew Peeke. I think he continues to build. I know there's nights where he doesn't go his way. The other night in Ottawa wasn't a good game. It wasn't good for anybody. I mean, I think he can show himself here, and I think he has this entire season of being a real good 6th guy, like even on a good team, and he's moved up too far probably right now, but he continues to make plays. He's growing his offensive game a little bit more every couple of weeks, and again, that's not a lot of guys can't make that play. So that should be good for his confidence from the back end. Again, it's there's a lot of guys that can't do that. in the National League, and I think that's a pretty good play to put on the resume.
Played over 20 minutes in this game. He's not averaging, I think he's just under 19 minutes that he's averaging this year. But he's getting the minutes, and it was a beautiful play. He read it really well. And I was happy for Lindholm as he, again, gets his 12th. And then, again, it makes the Garden feel good. It makes the team feel good. And after that mark, and it was basically halfway through the period after they killed off a penalty, killed off some good parts of it, and got a little lucky on the other, because Tampa's power play is disgusting how good it is when they move it around. But after they killed up the penalty halfway through the period, the Bruins got some energy, and it culminates in that goal that Lindholm scored.
No, it did, and it was all. I mean, that Pasta was sick at the end of that period. The two shifts that he had, just making chance after chance appear while he's out there. And Lindholm, listen, if he, it's a lot, but if he ended up getting to 20 or 18, 19 goals, that might start making him feel better going into the offseason and feeling more comfortable. So, again, lots to play for these individuals still, folks.
If Jeremy Swayman, and we're going to get to his response performance, we're going to talk about that at least in a moment. But if Jeremy Swayman is the most important player to go from, to get through this year, Razor, and to go to next year, that signed a new contract, right? Okay. You agree would you agree that he's that most important player?
Yeah, and I know you're going, because I would
agree. Is Lindholm the second most important?
Like in a close second too. I would actually consider him closer than most people actually would think, because again, the goalie's always bound by the circumstance in front of him. I think Swayman would be better if he had Lindholm and McAvoy. Like the numbers, everything would just feel more comfortable. He has to be. I'm not making excuses, folks. I'm just saying Lindholm, this is more on just like him. It's not about who's around him or what's around him. It's him. And he needs to bring that. So yeah, Swayman is number one, and he has to figure out how to be a starter in the league. Elias Lindholm's right there behind him and how he needs to be a Boston Bruin.
1 goal and 1 assist in this game. Played a little over 18 minutes. He ended up going 10 wins and 7 losses in the face-off circle in this game. The good news is, he's got points in 3 straight right now. And what is it? 4 of 6. If I do my math correctly, I think, 4 of 6. So, okay, he's getting more points. He's doing that. But, I mean, we're not grasping at straws here, but you're hoping that, let's say
we have to break something down now, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, but you're hoping, what is he at 36 points now? I mean,
get to 50, right?
Yeah. Oh shit. If he gets to 50,
no, you know what I mean? Like that's
gonna be
game, right? Yeah. Like find a way to do that. That'll help.
Well, that would help. It absolutely would. That would be very nice. He had a combined 44 points last year, so I'd like to see him break that.
All right, so break that. Yeah,
that's what I'd like to see. In previous years, just as a reminder, before last year's 44, 64, 82, 47, 54, 78. So
55's not a big ask for him.
Shouldn't be.
It's not. Yeah.
It shouldn't be. All right, so he's the second. And then I would think the third is Zadorov. I mean, I just if we're looking at the guys with new contracts, handling them, how do they perform? Khusnutdinov scores again. How about that? I mean, the guy's making an impression. Mm-hmm. He is thoroughly making an impression. The point that you made much earlier in the night, pre-yawn, was that there's a lot of players that get 4, 5, 6 games up here that don't take advantage of those opportunities. And Khusnutdinov is. And who knows what it's going to translate to? He's a restricted free agent at the end of this year. He makes the rookie, $925. He's got goals now in 2 games in a row. So, I mean, I won't say you can't ask for anything more, but he's doing his gig, man. He's noticeable. He's in the screen. He's handling the puck. He's making plays, making hits. 4 games, and I would say every time he's out there, he makes you watch him, and that's what you want the management to do, Razor.
He needs to do that, and he needs to do it, 14 more times, and he's putting himself and taking advantage of getting a new opportunity. That's what he's done through the first 10 days, and doing a very good job of it. It was a great job tonight on the goal he scored. He's getting deserved. He's getting hockey karma. And yeah, that's what this team needs right now, are guys stepping up and taking advantage of opportunities, whether they're young guys or middle-aged guys or older guys. And again, Khusnutdinov doing that again tonight is just a good, making the trade look good. It's if they can continue to, if they can find a way to get a couple of bottom 6, or bottom 9 to 13 type forwards.
Yep.
That's a huge deal, and you can, you understand exactly what you have. You don't have to worry about that over the summer. You can focus your energy other places, and that's what Murat has the opportunity to do right now. And again, this is, I'll go off a little bit because I think, like, sometimes when I talk about things like that on the show, people, think I'm ripping on young kids, or this is what you need to do to be in the NHL. Like, this is the bar. This is what you have to do when you get to the NHL. And this is how everybody who's in the NHL has made it when they were a young person, is they did this over 4, 10, 15, 20 games consistently. And Wahlstrom goes down in the minors. He scores 6 goals in 7 games. Is that what he's just ripping goals off left and right? And I know I've said on this show, like, if you put any of those guys in the minors, they're going to score a bunch of goals. Like, they're NHL players. And this is the same thing. Like, Wahlstrom's, I'm going on a tangent a little bit just to point out of, like, guys have to do a lot more than what people think to be in the NHL, and how much harder it is. And Khusnutdinov's proving that right now, in that you don't get called up and just given first line minutes in the NHL. Mm-hmm. It doesn't work like that. You have to earn it, and you have to show it. And there's ways to do it. And again, Murat's a great example of that right now.
The player that he was traded for, along with Jacob Lauko, Justin Brazeau, just to give you, I know it's early, but this is a good deal for the Bruins. He has played 5 games with Minnie. Minnie, by the way, continues to lose. They lost again tonight. They got throttled 5-1 to St. Louis. Tonight was the most ice time he's played, Razor, in those games. He played 10:40 tonight. Ready for this? The previous 4 games, 6:26, 8:46, 4 minutes and 10 seconds, and 7:11. That's his time on ice.
That's a struggle.
It's a struggle, big time.
So the opposite side, he's not taking advantage of his opportunity.
Right. They wanted some size there, but they're not getting what they wanted out of him. Interesting stuff. Good stuff on Murat and what he's doing, because it has been good. Now he's just got to keep it up. Let's touch on our sponsors right here, and then we're going to get to Jeremy Swayman talking his response game. I was going to say Jeremy Construction, Graciano Construction. Serving Boston and the greater Metro West area is fantastic. You want to reach out to Graciano Construction, because they are the contractor that will help you refresh and revitalize your space. GracianoConstruction.com or 508-330-7589. I know people listening have called, and I know they've done at least 1, if not 2 projects with people calling, and they are so worth it. Call Doug Graciano or reach out to him again at 508-330-7589. GracianoConstruction.com. Amazing professionalism. They make doing a home project somehow seem less stressful and almost at times enjoyable. Believe it or not, they do great work, folks. GracianoConstruction.com. We had a guest to our booth tonight. One of our sponsors had one of their guys in town. We got to meet Rev, Sunset Lake CBD. Rev, before he came, he when he texted me telling me he was coming down from Vermont, coming away from the farm from the CBD farm. He said, I got to let you know, I'm from Florida. I'm a Tampa guy, Tampa fan. And I said, that's okay. More importantly, you're a Morning Brew with Jaffe and Razor fan. And we are a fan of Sunset Lake CBD as well. So it was great to meet Rev. He was with his good buddy. They were having a good time. His buddy was a Bruins fan. He's a Tampa fan, but all good. SunsetLakeCBD.com, the place to go, because you want high quality stuff. You want stuff that you know, that you trust, that can work, Razor. And when you try their gummies, their products that help you relax after a tough day at work or help you sleep, they're tinctures that really absorb into your body quickly. And I'm about to go to mine in about 10 minutes when we're done here to get some sleep before I got to wake up early and head to the rink again. They got topicals as well. I mean, you got sore muscles, sore back, sore arm, whatever. Great stuff. You want this high quality stuff. They are craft CBD products, and they will ship them directly to you. They're CBD products that are grown, harvested, and shipped, and they're at their farm in northern Vermont. And why go wait in line somewhere when they can ship it right to you? Use the code BRU20, BRU20, for 20% off your entire order at sunsetlakecbd.com. Don't forget, Razor, if your order is over $75 CBD, Sunset Lake CBD can ship your order for free. There's so much good stuff. It's a great website too. You know, look, there's so many products. Truthfully, we can't get to them all. And I haven't tried them all either. I've tried a fair amount of them though. But you know what you need, right, folks? So go call them too. They got great customer service. They'll talk with you. They'll let you know what's going. So I hope to meet my buddy Cy, the guy who put this all together between Morning Brew with Jaffe and Razor as well one day. And I told Rev we're going to maybe come up to Vermont one time. And he said, oh, great, we'll give you gloves and we'll get you working on the farm. I'm like, well, you never know.
I'm happy to. May
need the work.
Yeah, no kidding.
We also said thank you to, or we said the sparks. The spark of the game was that goal.
Yeah, Andrew Peeke.
Andrew Peeke play.
Great play.
So Sparks Hockey, great sharpener, sparkshockey.com. Go check them out. Thank you to Sparks Hockey. Use the code BREW50 for $50 off. Sparkshockey.com for the ultimate at-home skate sharpening unit. If you have yourself a player or players, go check it out. Both Razor and I are enormous fans. Thank you to Sparks Hockey. Were you a fan of Swayman's response game after getting pulled, Razor, after 20 minutes in Ottawa the other night?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, he played well tonight. I mean, he gave up 4 goals on 38 shots.
He was 40.
Yeah. The 2 empty netters made it.
You're right.
So I don't think he doesn't get credit for those.
Good call.
So gets to 38. He battled. He was grinding in the second period, of course, 20-0. It's in your end the whole time. Can't be faulted on any of the goals because of the tip, like off Wotherspoon, Sorelli tip. Paul doesn't even get to him. That's a rebound out in front of him that he has to react to. So I thought everything that he saw, everything, he moved in front of him. I thought he battled and grinded, and that's where he's going to be at here. The next, you assume he's going to play 8 to 10 games throughout the rest of the season, and he's got to grind through them. There's going to be nights where this just, it's going to get a little out of hand on them. It's going to be hard for the players in front of them to get going. It's going to be on the goalies to make some saves and get in front of it. And again, the bounce back situation is something you just continue to learn and get experience from. And there's certainly, and again, giving up goal 222 in as well after being pulled. So basically in 22 minutes of play, he gave up 5 goals on 17 shots, 18 shots. That's, you're thinking, oh boy, here we go again at that point. But he found a way to fight through it, and now goes back to work tomorrow and Monday morning and gets ready to get back on the horse.
Mason Lowry was -3 in this game. This comes after a -4 game in Ottawa, -7 in his last 2 games. Now he played 22-47. I got to be, I don't remember. I'm assuming, he had to have been on the ice for at least one of the empty netters, if not both.
Yeah, he probably got rinsed on both. He definitely got, The second one he got rinsed, so I'm assuming he got rinsed on the first one too. So
Yeah, but
that
it's just
might
a
be a
number
little
that doesn't
sneaky.
look good. It
No, it's
doesn't
in
feel good.
-7, just not good.
Right.
Ottawa scored an empty netter too, right?
Yeah.
So he's gotten 3 minuses on that, which does suck.
All right. So mindset now.
Mhm.
Let's wrap up the show with this. Like, I know they're pros, and I know that they are proud,
Yep.
and I know they want to be better,
Yep.
and I know they want to get better results. I know all that. Okay. But they're also human, and they understand, or they look at it, and at what point? I mean, again, have you been on a team that at some point where you say, I'm all this and I'm a pro and I'm going to give it everything I got, but there's that feeling of I just don't know if we're good enough, when it's all said and done. Are we at that point yet, or can they deep breathe? Can they yoga breathe through Monday's game against Buffalo, who's kind of in that similar spot again, not a playoff race, and then look forward to a West Coast trip? I mean, where how do you approach that?
So typically what happens is you get, you stay in it, and you keep your head down, you stay in it. And then you'll have a week where it's like, oof, it just sets in, like this just isn't going the way we need it to. And the math starts getting real hard to figure out. And I'm guessing they're kind of there or pretty close. With under 15 games left, it's, you're looking at a 12-2 run minimum. That's what you're looking at. That's what they have to look at. So that gets hard to talk yourself into, and so you kind of have a letdown for a week and a half, right? And where it's just like, oh,
it's not
we're
fun.
done.
Yeah.
And then after that, you kind of become the spoiler. Okay, we're out, but let's go, boys. Let's finish strong. Let's get these last 2 weeks into the season. That was my experience when I missed the playoffs, where even though you're not mathematically out, you can do the math as a player, and it just gets too hard. And that's why that 500 number's kind of the one for all the guys. If the Bruins could just continually stay over 500, you can talk yourself into it. But once you get to 500 and under, then you're like, then. So again, I hope they can find a way to win against Buffalo Monday night, get them back over 500, and you can talk yourself into a good road trip, have some fun out there. But again, you're getting close to just the mathematics of it, where you just don't have enough games left to pick up the points. The Rangers are now 5 games over 500. So are the Canadians. So you have to assume one of those teams is going to get to 8 or 9.
And Columbus has 3 more games with Ottawa left too. Now I think
Ottawa's gone.
I think they're gone. I agree.
Yeah.
But
they're
now
officially, certainly for the Bruins' sake of conversation, they're 9 games over. So they only need to go. You can't catch them essentially at this point.
Right. It's one spot now, and you've got 5 teams, and Detroit's losing more or less, and Columbus has struggled lately, the injuries, but also I just think they're such a young team, but they're still above the Bruins with 2 games in hand. And that's the other thing. Bruins, everybody except Pitt. I mean, who Pitt's out of it, whatever, but has a game in hand at least on the Bruins. So that makes it hard as well. Where the Bruins are right now, I believe they would hold. I mean, if the lottery wasn't a thing, meaning if it was just an order of point total, I think they'd have the 10th overall pick in the draft. I think that's where they're at, which, okay. I mean, if they end up, I don't want to call it a silver lining, but you know what I mean. If they end up losing some more games, they could work themselves maybe perhaps into a top 7 type of pick. And that is not to say you go and lose games. I'm repeating that. I'm just saying if it gets tough, that's maybe the only the first silver lining that we're seeing is that some guys are getting extended looks and more minutes and everything. The other one would be a higher draft pick. That would be it.
Yeah.
That's it.
But you don't
think about that as a player.
Yeah. Well, no, you're certainly not, or the coaches or anyone. And this draft isn't going to be the 7th pick or the 10th pick's not going to make a difference, folks. So, unless you're getting number 1 or 2, that the rest of them are all the same.
Okay.
It's going to depend on your need and etc.
Okay. Well, the higher the pick, though, maybe you can do something with it as well if need be. It could be more attractive to
You
somebody.
think imagine he trades that pick. Oh boy,
Well,
that would be something else.
You never know. I mean,
then we open up the questions. Good luck with those. I'll let you answer those ones.
Well, you know
But I
what?
love your thinking. Hey, I'm with you.
In
You
this
get an
world
NHL
now,
player for that top 10 pick, I'm all in. You know
right?
that. I'm
Yeah.
all in on it.
I mean, you
100%.
never know, but
I love it. I love
because
it.
you do have multiple. Now you've got more picks too. Maybe you just do some type of moving.
I
I
love
don't
it.
know.
Bro.
Listen, we got a ways to go before that. Draft again, as a reminder, folks, is June 27th. Be held in Los Angeles.
That's like 100 miles away from me.
Oh yeah, I know. All right, that's going to wrap up this morning brew with Jaffe and Razor. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Thanks to you folks for listening. It wasn't fun, we know that, but we do appreciate taking some time with us and listening to the show. Razor, you and I will be back on Monday night after the Boston Bruins host the Buffalo Sabres before they hit the road for, as far as road trips go, pretty decent road trip heading out west. The guys will have some extra days in California. All right, Bruins lose. They are now at that 500 mark, 30-8. I mean, technically, you could say they're 8 games under 500, given how they have the extra, but they at least got the point for those 8 overtime or shootout losses. We'll see how they do against Buffalo, a team that is struggling again this year. They are last in the Eastern Conference. Everybody please try. Go and, if you can't enjoy your coffee, go at least have a couple of gummies. You'll feel a lot better. All right, go do that.